Say hello to the bad guy. This crowd is very anti-Jake Paul for this one.
Okay, gentlemen, you went over the rules in the dressing room. Both of you guys know what I expect out of you. I'm going to let you work it right here. This is good right here. Obey my commands. Protect yourself at all times. Touch him up. Let's go to work.
And he pulled it off with a win tonight over a former middleweight world champion. It's in the cards for the problem child. Or will Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. spoil this fiesta and send this crowd into hysterics? 10 rounds, cruiserweight division. Here we go.
I'll tell you what, I was there in Arizona when the pro-Mexican crowd turned on Chavez Jr. Based on their reaction tonight, they have come back to support him one more time.
It's a big story. It's a big story. They had to get behind their guy. You know what I mean? He still represents the legacy, you know what I mean, of Chavez. And they love their own. You know what I mean? He's been an icon for the boxing community, Mexican boxing community.
And Antonio, Chavez Jr. can land one of those left hooks to the body of Jake Paul. It can be a real game changer.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing Chavez jab right now. You know that's the one punch that can really set the tone for all of that.
Jake Paul promising a stoppage win. Says he'll turn Jr. into a meme. He's done it before. Just ask Nate Robinson, Tyron Woodley, and the rest.
You know, Junior's quit a couple of times in his career against Daniel Jacobs and against Andre Fonfara. But up until that point, he has shown one of the better chins in his weight classes. Gone the distance with some good punchers, including Canelo Alvarez. So stopping him with one shot could be difficult.
Antonio, what do you like about Jake Paul's boxing style?
Right now, he's in rhythm. Right now, he's in rhythm. He's not really anxious. He's taking his time. He's letting the fight come to him. Yeah, right now, he's doing it the right way. He's letting it come to him behind that jab. And he got Chavez right now concerned.
It's not a fight that Chavez could win fighting like this on the back foot. At his best, at 160 and slightly above, he was a good pressure fighter. When he had good moments against Daniel Jacobs in 2019, he was applying the pressure. He's trying to counterpunch off the back foot. It's going to be a long night for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Good right hand by Jake Paul, who says, watch his reaction the first time I land a punch. He's going to be shocked at how much power I have. And Chris, we saw that uppercut that landed to Andre August that Jake Paul got that knockout. He does have some serious power.
Yeah, that right hand is a weapon. He also turns the left hook pretty well, too. So he's got power with both hands.
Right now, I think it's important that Paul show control. Continue to show control behind his boxing and then land those shots clean if he wants to open up. But don't get wild and don't get reckless.
The last thing Chavez Jr. wants is for this crowd to turn on him. And if he's this inactive as far as throwing punches, it'll get ugly quick.
And all we've seen from Chavez this round is a couple of wild left hooks.
And that right hand landed on top of the head of Chavez. I don't know if it was an effective punch. Could have been a slap with an open hand, but it did land.
Good opening round for Jake Paul.
That'll get a Mexican crowd to turn on you pretty quickly.
Any crowd. Unless you're the non-violent type. But that's not what you pay for. They want blood.
Antonio, just good jabs from Jake Paul early on. He's throwing that right hand. Just look, nobody's going to sit here and say that Jake Paul belongs on a pound-for-pound list.
Right.
But he fights a pretty good fight when he's on his game plan and is using that jab.
Most definitely. Right now, he just needs to try some of the things he's been working in the gym on. You know what I'm saying?
Stop! Time! Over here. Take some of this Vaseline off his face.
They say take some of the Vaseline off his face.
You heard Theo Chambers, the trainer of Jake Paul, saying it's just that easy.
Yep.
And it did look easy in round one for Jake Paul. Not much has changed here in round two.
And like I was saying, I think Jake Paul needs to be trying things, showing his little arsenal, what his bag looked like, you know, and he's got the perfect opponent in front of him to do that.
Jake Paul trying to bait Chavez into doing something. I mean, Paul would like a competitive fight. He wants to be tested a little bit. So far right now, Chavez Jr. not doing anything to trouble him.
I think Chavez is so hell-bent on landing the perfect shot rather than just landing a shot.
You can also see a pretty significant size difference between these two guys in the ring. Jake, who's fought above 180 for most of his pro career, fought at heavyweight his last time out. Chavez began at 160, fought at 68 and 75. He's been a cruiser for a couple of fights, but physically, this is the natural weight class for Jake Paul.
And I thought both guys looked really good on the scale. Most importantly, Chavez, but it doesn't seem like he brought that energy that he was showing earlier in the press.
When he gets within range, he's got to let that left hand go to the body. That was one of his best punches in his best days. He can't just walk in and stand there. He's not even throwing.
Yeah, the boo birds will start coming quick. There's a right hand, and the crowd almost gives him a Bronx cheer.
One thing Jake Paul is doing good, he's moving that target. He's not staying stationary or flat-footed long enough for Chavez to really dig to the body or even get anything on for that matter.
And for what it's worth, Chavez Sr. said there's no way my son loses this fight. No way. But he's losing right now, comprehensively.
Good combination by Jake Paul. I think he's rushing in a little bit. He got to keep those feet in place.
Big Paul's running him around the ring. Let him out of his cage is basically what they're saying. Chavez Jr., time to go. Tony, wouldn't you love him just to go in there and just let a combination rip just to see what he can do?
Yeah, he got to get in position to do that, though. Like I say, he's looking for the perfect shot, I believe. And he's letting Jake get off. That was a good body shot right up under the elbow.
I mean, the guard of Chavez Jr. is so high. That body shot's going to be there for Jake all night.
Mike Perry said the first punch Jake Paul hit him with was to the ribs, and it broke his rib. And that shot right there sounded pretty darn good, too. And here they come as Paul lands some power punches. More complaining from Chavez Jr. Hey, boxing, Antonio, if you don't like what the other guy's doing to you, you're going to punch him in the face. The third man in the ring tonight, Gerard White, your referee.
Chavez understands he's in a fight, but he's got to put up some type of resistance. He can't let Jake Paul keep having his way like this, and he has over 60 fights. He should know what he should be able to do.
Jake Paul trying to cut the ring off now. Get Chavez stationary. Chavez just putting up no resistance offensively at all.
I mean, we wondered if we were going to get a carbon copy of what we saw from Chavez against Uriah Hall. This is basically it. A guy that's fighting off the back foot, not comfortable throwing combinations. Only this time, he's going up against an opponent that is willing to throw right hands, that is digging to the body. Right now, it doesn't look like anything has changed in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
And there's his dad watching. His hands aren't on his head yet. There they go. Right on cue. I mean, Chris, if this were an NBA game, Chavez Jr. would be that player who has like 40 minutes, but no rebounds, no points, no assists, nothing.
Which is disappointing. Because when I talk to fighters and former fighters, the thing they say is, like, if Chavez is right, he's got a chance. He can fight.
There's a left hand.
Finally.
Something.
And you can see Chavez Sr., man, his heart right now is bleeding.
Hope from Chavez Jr. with that left hook that connected. Let's see if he can build on that. Or is it going to be more of the same from Jake Paul?
Chavez going to have to fire back something to, at least unnerve Jake. Jake is too comfortable right now coming in and landing what he wants.
Good right hand to the body, yeah. What do you make of the technique of Jake Paul?
It looks good. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's settled. And that's one thing everyone wanted to see, him settle down. I think a lot of the hardcore fans are still unconvinced, but I think it'll go a long way. Good body shot, combination.
More complaining from Chavez Jr.
I thought that was clean. Both on the belt line. He's complained about shots at the back of the head that weren't there. He's complaining about low blows that aren't there. He is calling more phantom punches than he's throwing actual punches.
Body shot by Chavez. He missed up top with the right hand. There's the jab again for Jake Paul. Again, Chavez looked like he's struggling with his footwork.
Oh, big right from Paul. And you can see the red markings now on the face of Chavez Jr. as he's getting beat up by El Gallo de Dorado.
Uh-oh.
At least Chavez showing some life here in the fourth.
He's fighting back. And that's what we want to see from Chavez. We know he wants Jake back to the ropes. Oh, good right hand by Jake Paul.
His father shouting instructions to the son, who I doubt is listening.
It's going to be important for Jake Paul to control that conditioning. You don't want to let that heart rate get away from him.
Well, that was the thing I thought coming into this fight, that if Chavez Jr. could make it competitive in the early rounds, he would have a chance to win late. Jake Paul weighed around, 220, 230 in that last fight against Mike Tyson, had to shave down to get to cruiserweight. He carries a lot of muscle, Antonio, and you know this. Right. Muscle is heavy, especially when you get to the second half of the fight.
That was a right hand in the back of Jake Paul's head that landed for Chavez.
Chavez showing more signs of life here. He's trying to push the pace, be aggressive.
Good jab by Chavez.
Good jab by Jake.
He answered back.
Halfway home. The crowd still engaged despite the lack of success from Chavez Jr. so far. Chris, has he won a round yet?
No, I don't think he's won one. I've got it 4 rounds to none in favor of Jake Paul at this point. A couple of good moments for Chavez Jr. in that 4th round, but so many power shots landed by Jake Paul. Great body work by Jake Paul.
Good
so
jab.
Far. And the jab, it's been working for him.
He stepped on that jab. Oh, good hook right hand by Chavez.
That's what Chavez needs to do. Be a front foot fighter. Put the pressure on Jake Paul. Get him backing up. That's what made Chavez successful during his best years.
Chavez got to find a way to let his hands go. I think if he let his hands go, he can get some success, at least find out what Jake can take.
It was 14 years ago when Chavez Jr. defeated Sebastian Zbik to win his middleweight championship, June of 2011. Had a big win over Andy Lee in 2012, but since then, not a lot to shout about. Oh, that was low.
Can't put his head either.
You're on his head, though. You're on his head, but you're on his head. You okay? Time in, box.
Well, this is the round that Jake predicted he would finish Chavez Jr. Let's see if he can. He's got 1:20 to go. Other than the 2 times that Chavez basically quit against Fonfara, headbutt there, and Daniel Jacobs, he's been pretty durable. Canelo couldn't get him out.
You okay?
You okay? Watch your heads. Don't go behind me like that.
And that's what Jake Paul said. I'll do something that Canelo could not do. I'm going to stop Chavez Jr.
If he's going to stop him, it's probably going to be with a body shot.
Right hand scores.
I think that'll be a big feather in his cap if he can get an impressive stoppage. You know what I mean? The hardcore fans are still trying to be convinced that Jake Paul is here to stay. And right now, I say he's a prospect. A good win here makes him a contender. So I know what I'm seeing.
Well, usually a good opponent can bring out the best in you, but Chavez Jr. hasn't exactly been a good opponent so far. But you like what you're seeing?
Well, he's given him some challenges, but I think he needs to step it up a lot in order for us to see, you know, if Jake Paul can work his way through some hard spots in a fight.
Winging overhand right, nowhere close from Jr. Jake Paul,
Saying
we're talking about their own fighter. But they apparently see something that we don't. Chris, how do you have it through 5 rounds?
Got it 5 rounds to none in favor of Jake Paul, 50 to 45. And honestly, not a single one of these rounds has been particularly close. Chavez had a couple of decent moments in the 4th round, but he is regularly getting walked down. He is regularly getting hit to the body. And the punch output from Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. simply isn't there. 50 to 45 in favor of Jake Paul.
These two do have a common opponent. Chavez lost to Anderson Silva 16 months before Jake Paul beat him.
Nice uppercut off the jab. Good combination by Jake.
And that's an adjustment, Antonio. We've seen Jake throw the jab and then the overhand right there on the inside. He goes that rear uppercut. Nice little mixing up of punches.
Looked like Chavez got a little body shot in. Jake didn't like it.
Well, Jake is built tough, isn't he? Looks like a brick in there.
Yeah, I think 200 pounds is his weight class. Nice little check hook by Jake Paul. Just would like to see Chavez get a combination or something off. And sometimes when you're not in the best of shape, you can only do what you can do. You can't put any variations on your shots, you know what I mean? So you're struggling just to get that one shot off.
In the back of his mind, he's thinking, man, I got 4 rounds to go after this one, so I can't empty the tank when the tank is almost already empty.
And then all of those little short shots. Oh, good hook up top. Those little short shots in there from Jake Paul are effective on Chavez.
Chavez needs more of that, or more of everything, really.
Be nice if he can counter that jab from Jake. Come over top and give him something to worry about. There you go.
And Jake wisely ties him up.
Smart. I think explosiveness is missing from Chavez's game tonight. Even if he could do it once or twice, he's going to have to explode on Jake.
The crowd trying to will Jr. on. There's a left. They're cheering every punch he throws. There's another one. And a right from Jake Paul.
Jake throwing back.
Sweeping left hook doesn't score. Best round, though, so far for Chavez Jr. But I think that's what we're going to get. Maybe 10-50. All right, the crowd's into it again.
I'll tell you what, though, Todd, Chavez Jr. stayed on that stool for a long time at the end of that round. Was breathing real heavy in between the moments of the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, he let his hands go a little bit in that round. Had some success, but again, it took a lot out of him, it seems.
And he likes the response from Jake Paul when he got caught with a punch. He flipped the script and started throwing bombs right at Chavez Jr.
I like that left hand from Chavez there, straight to the body. Jake responds, but that's where Chavez has got to go. Left hook to the body.
think Jake felt that left hook. Don't know how flush it was.
Again, Jake Paul ties Chavez Jr. up anytime he gets close.
What I notice about this round, Jake is not really putting a lot of power on his punches. He's letting them flow, though, and I think that's good. He's changing the trajectory on those punches by taking a little bit of power off and scoring effectively.
Jake Paul has completed the 10-round distance once before in his career when he faced Nate Diaz, the 38-year-old who's making his pro boxing debut.
That one straight low.
When you're throwing a lot of low blows like that, Tarver's, a lot of that have to do with the fact that you're just fatigued a little bit. You're not putting enough on the punch.
Yeah, I think so in this case.
Oh, nice uppercut. Chavez thought he was going to the body, and he went up top. Antonio, what would you like to see Jake Paul do more of?
I mean, with what he got in front of him right now, I think he's doing what he has to do. That jab is a key. And like I said, when he throw that right hand, maybe he should throw it straight sometime instead of looping it. But I like what he's doing inside like that. Those short punches, man, they're very effective on Chavez. And he's going to need that moving up.
Half a minute to go here in round 7. Doesn't look like Chavez Jr. is going to win the fight, but can he win a round? You never know. He does have that left hook, a lot of power, or at least used to. He can connect flush, maybe.
There's that jab again. It's been there all night, controlling Chavez.
And we are live in Anaheim, California. Chavez Jr. running out of time. 3 rounds left. These fans here just want a moment. They want something.
Good jab. Looked like the best jab of the fight for Chavez Jr. Good right hand. He might be opening up now.
And Chris, I know it was well over a decade ago, but remember Chavez Jr. was being dominated by Sergio Martinez for 11 straight rounds, but then in the 12th, Chavez Jr. dropped the champ, and it turned into a legendary 12th. If you watched it live, man, it was a real stunner.
It was. It was also 13 years ago against a fighter that was physically much smaller than him. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. this moment is the smaller fighter, and Chavez has not shown me for the better part of 8 rounds that he's willing to let his hands go like that. I think we all wanted to believe that maybe Chavez Jr. could turn back the clock, that getting clean for 18 months, focusing on his training, trying to win back some of the fans he lost in the Jacobs fight and the Fonfara fight would lead to a different outcome. But the reality is this is just more of the same from Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
On paper, the most decorated fighter, other, of course, than Mike Tyson, who was 58 years old last year when he fought him. But this is the most decorated fighter that Jake's been in there with, and he has not had any problems whatsoever. A little bit of life. Got heartbeat, there's a right
Good
hand.
right hand. They're just far in between. Jake is the more active fighter, and I think that activity right now is leading him to victory. But I think in this fight, if Chavez can land one significant blow, it could turn it around.
Yeah, how will Jake Paul handle being hurt? You know, we don't really know. Tyron Woodley had him in a bit of trouble. And there's Mama Bear, very vocal for her son. Boy, what a life she's living. She goes, watches Logan at the WWE, watches Jake in boxing.
Good body shot.
Yeah, left hook to the body from Chavez, and that makes Jake throw more punches.
Still Jake in there answering.
Wanted to land the uppercut again. We'll head to the 8th. So we're in round 9, 6 minutes left to go. It's been a dominant display by Jake Paul. Can Chavez Jr. muster up some magic? He's the aggressor here. Maybe he's fooling us all, Chris, and has saved the best for last.
Be a hell of a game plan, Todd.
Good right hand. That landed solid.
And another right. Jake Paul tried to hold on.
It's like for the 3rd time now, the referee has had to explain that if it's on the belt line, it's a legal punch. And let me tell you something. I know where this is going. This is going to a press conference after the fight where Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. complains about low blows. That's where this is all headed. He's setting up the complaints about getting hit low.
We're in the 9th round of a 10-round fight. Jake Paul has been active, really active, letting his hands go, and he doesn't seem like he's out of breath or anything like that. I would say he's controlling this fight, and it's the poise that he's showing that's impressed me tonight. Good right hand by Chavez. He's putting on that pressure now. I think he got a couple shots in.
And Paul wisely ties him up.
Chavez is there to be tied up because he's not trying to get any movement or separation from the guy.
Chavez said he wanted to bring respect back to boxing by beating Jake Paul tonight. He's not doing that.
He's not having a bad round, though, here. He's landing some pretty clean shots, and it seems like at this stage, Jake is starting to tire a little bit. This is probably the best round so far for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Yeah, those punches from Jake is not coming as fluent as they were. He may be taking a deep breath right now.
Well, the experience of Chavez Jr. should shine through. He's had over 60 pro fights compared to just 12 from Jake. And Jake, of course, no amateur experience.
Jake don't have a lot of power on those shots, but he is throwing them and he is scoring. Good right hand by Chavez. Another one.
You can see the fatigue from Jake. Deep breaths and ate a big uppercut.
Chavez getting busy.
The crowd on their feet. They're starting to believe that maybe, just maybe.
Oh,
left hook.
Chavez trying to win a round.
And he's won a round, everybody. Give him the round. It's how you finish.
For sure.
At least that's the motto now that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is living by. 3 minutes to go. Can he complete the ultimate comeback after being dominated for the first 8 rounds?
Just when you thought Chavez was looking to lay down somewhere, he came back viciously, and I believe he won that round. Ooh.
We'll look at Chris Mannix's scorecard quickly here as Chavez back, Jake up against the ropes.
Jake fighting back.
Yeah, and I've got an 89-82. I did give Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. that 9th round, his first round of the fight. If he could have just picked up the pace earlier, banked at least 1 or 2 of these earlier rounds, he would have given himself half a shot here, but he gave away so many of those early rounds. The only way he wins this fight is going to be by knockout.
Well, you know what? Jake Paul wants a knockout too, and with Chavez throwing more punches now, there will be opportunities for him to catch him.
Most definitely. He just got to be relaxed and set that counter shot up. That counter shot up. Perfect counter shot. Really nice to see Chavez put out, though.
You know, I'm wondering if Chavez doubted that he would be able to last the 10 rounds because of his conditioning, and now that he's sensing that he's going to do it, he's starting to open up.
push out.
And Jake Paul catches him with a short left on the inside. Minute 20 to go.
Didn't know what to really expect, but it's been an entertaining fight all the way through these 10 rounds.
Can Chavez land the left hook?
Here's Chavez, like, where was this approach early?
All he needed was a clean shot. If he can get one clean shot in.
This is the Mexican style the fans came to see. Going out on your shield.
Ooh.
Right hand from Chavez.
Good jab.
And Jake holding on. 30 seconds to go.
I think Chavez won a lot of his fans back tonight with these last 2 rounds.
Right hand from Chavez. Jake will fight back.
Oh!
Big left from Chavez Jr. right at the bell. He gave us a show at least for 6 minutes. But in the end, the